people tend to have a capacity where they always have their mobile or any gadget. So these gadgets and these mobiles, they communicate with each other and they communicate with people with the networks. So network becomes an essential part in our day-to-day life. So your semester classes are being conducted online, so we use the network that is available. So these are the main points why we need to study this network management, telecommunication network management. So we'll start with today's class. So today we'll be seeing about abstract syntax notation 1. So why we need ASNS, which is called in short, it is used to set rules for your data transfer. So as I told you, we use the networks to uh, communicate with people, to send our data. We use WhatsApp, we use Gmail, we are using Google Meet. So all these things are transferring some data. Okay, so when you are transferring a data, you need something in common such that everyone understands it. So we are using English as a common language so that everyone understands it. So we are not using our mother tongue to communicate something. So when you have anything in common, we need a system which is understood by everyone. So in order to do that in your telecommunication, we have this ASN, which tells you what is a structure and how the data evolves in your network. Okay, it is accepted and it is followed throughout the world. So it is applied in your application layer, so that so you have different layers in your OS layers. So 7 layers you have. So it is applied in your application layer where people interact with the system, so that it becomes easy for everyone. So it is a standard which is given by Telecommunication Union, International Telecommunication Union, which was formerly called as WCITT. So ASN was given by them. So this is applied such that you have a common set of rules for your data transfer. So when you say about your data, you have two types of syntax. Okay, one is abstract syntax and second one is transfer syntax. So abstract syntax is applied for your data that you transfer in your network. So what kind of data you give, how the data should be, what should be the range of the data that is accepted, all those things is given by abstract syntax. So second one is transfer syntax, where a set of rules are given for communicating between the different systems. So when you have different kinds of systems where the machine configuration varies, then how they should work in a network. So that is given by transfer syntax. So you have two syntax. One is abstract syntax, which deals about your data, and second one is transfer syntax, which deals about the communication between the devices. So next, this is a set of, so for your ASN to specify the set of rules, we have a few things that is to be kept in mind. So first one is we are using BNF. Okay, so BNF, Backus newer form, is used to specify your ASN, abstract syntax. Okay, so you have how to define it. So we use a variable, right? In your programming languages, we use a variable which stores some value in your memory. For example, if I want to declare a variable integer who's holding a value 10, so I'll give int a equal to 10. So it depends upon your programming language, whether you're using C or Java or Python. So if it is Python, we don't need any declaration. So likewise, that is the rule for a programming language. So likewise, we have a set of rules which is to be followed for your network data transfer. So first one is name. Okay, you will have like a equal to 10. So likewise, name is nothing but it is like a variable, and definition is nothing but the value that your name is going to hold. Okay, so name is equal to, so scope resolution operator is your double colon, then equal to your definition, what value it will hold, or will it be a complex data type, data within a data, anything you can give. So that is what is the main uh, syntax for defining a syntax in your ASN. Okay, so if you want to create a digit, okay, so everything is user defined name. So digit, it can be 0 to 9. Suppose if I want to have a variable number which holds the different values, Okay, a number, suppose your roll number 2019 and so on. So it is having a combination of digits. It is like appending one digit with the other. So you'll have a digit or you will have again a number. It is just the repetition, and a number can appear any number of times. So next you can also have operators, so which is given by op. Okay, so plus or minus or multiplication or division, anything you can do. So SCAE is an example where you have combination of different digits and number. So 9 is a primitive. Okay, so 19 is a construction of 1 and 9, that is you are appending 1 and 9. So 619 you are appending 6 and 19. So this is how it works. So you are appending the numbers. So it's a simple example how we can give ASN. So next, what are the data types and values? So whenever you study any programming language, you will see what are the different data types and what values those data types can hold. So likewise, ASN gives you a syntax for your data types. So these are the different data types you can have: integer, string, object, and null. So integer is just numbers, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, any numbers, and octet string. Why it is called as octet string is, octet means you know that it is 8 bits. So this string will hold data in terms of 8 bits. That's why it is octet string. Then you can have objects. Objects are nothing but like user defined values. Okay, you can have more than one data types used in it, and then you can use them. Null, which means that it doesn't hold any value. It is just a data type which is declared, but it need not hold any value. So when you have these data types, you need to assign value to them. So that is what is given in assignment. So for example, Boolean type. Okay, so that is your data type. Boolean type is your data type. So with the name that I give here is Boolean. So whenever you give something in capital letter, then it becomes a keyword. Okay, so this is your data type Boolean. So what value this Boolean can hold? It can hold either true or it can hold false. Either one of the values only possible. It can be either true or it can be false. So this is how you declare a variable and then you assign value to them. Okay, so these are the different data types we have: integer, string, objects, and null. We'll see them in depth. So next one is a group of assignments, okay, that we do can be clubbed together and they are called as module. Likewise, so here I have person name and I have a person name. So here whatever I write with small letters, okay, here your first character is a small letter. So then this becomes a data type, and I've written this person name P with a capital letter. So this means that this is your module name. So data type and then module name. So this is like your structures and union that we have in C. So structure name. So likewise, this is data type and this is your module name. So this module contains different values. So first is a variable which holds a value John. So middle is I, last is Smith. So this is what is called as a module. So when you combine more number of assignments, then it becomes a module. That is nothing but it holds different values. A module can hold different kinds of values. Okay, so here this is your this person name is your data type, and whenever you have this capital first character as a capital, then this becomes your module name. So this is your data type and this is your module name. So these are the different values this particular data type is holding on. Sorry, this module is holding on. So next one is how to declare and define values. Okay, we saw a previous example. So you'll have to give the name, reference name, and then what this variable or type will hold on. So for example, age. So age can be given only as integer. So country, so here you use your 8 octal, that is octal string. I'm using it. So me, it can be your name. So greetings, just give octal string. Okay, octal string, you're giving some greetings, hello, welcome, something like that. So by example, I can give age is equal to 25. So country is India. So this is how you declare and assign value to a variables. So next one, the different data types I told you. So we have basic data types and we have constructed data types. Like how we have basic data types and extended data types we have in different programming languages. So these are different basic data types: Boolean, integer, bit string, octal string, null, object, real, enumerated, and so on. Okay, so next one is your constructed data type. So this is defines how your data is transferred and how your data looks on your network. Okay, this defines the values that a data can hold. So Boolean, it can hold true or false. So integer, it can hold numbers from 0 and so on. So string, it can hold 8 bits. Everything is stored as 8 bits. So these say about your values that your data will be. And this constructor type specifies how the value should be. So if you are giving it as choice, okay, if it is a choice, it means that either one of the option will be taken on, either one of the data will be taken on. I'll give you example and I'll explain it. So choice means you have multiple options. Among that, you will choose only one, whichever is applicable. So next, sequence and sequence of. So sequence means the order is always preserved. Okay, the order of your data is always preserved when you use the data type as sequence. So your roll number should be your year, then the department code, then you will be your number. So you cannot interchange them. So you cannot interchange the sequence. So it should be 2018 010 and then your roll number. So you cannot change it. So this is what is sequence. So sequence means the order is always preserved. So sequence of means it preserves the sequence where it allows duplication. Okay, it allows repeated values. So sequence of means collection of. Okay, it can have more than one. So this, when you use the sequence of, whatever order in which you're sending your data, that will be used toward the network. Okay, if I say first one, then two, three. So this 1, 2, 3 order will always be followed. Suppose if I say send first data as 10, second data as 20. So 10, 20, so that will be your order. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be first 20, then it cannot be 10. So whatever order in which you send your data, that is preserved in sequence. So next one is set. So set doesn't preserve your ordering. Okay, it can go in any order. Suppose if I send numbers from 1 to 5, so it can send in any combination. It can send 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, or it can send 2, 3, 1, 4, and so on. So order is not preserved when I give set. So set off means it allows duplication and it is more number of data. So choices, you have multiple options among which you choose the best one. Sequence, it allows the data, that is, it preserves the order in which you send the data. Set, it does not preserve, it is unordered data. It does not send the data according to your order in which you send. Okay, if there is no problem in sending the data in any way, then we can use it. But whenever you send a data on a network, we preserve the order, so we will use sequence. So when you send a message in WhatsApp, first message is delivered, then your second message delivered, then your third message gets delivered. So the order is always preserved when we send the data over your network. So we will mostly will be using only sequence data type. So these are basic data types, and these are the data types which specifies what order your data will follow. So this is an example. So married, so if the data type can be Boolean, true or false. Age, it will be an integer. So next I'm storing some picture. So this picture is represented in bit forms in pixels. So next that is bit string in pixels for some sequence. So what happens is here, first data will be your name, second data will be age, third data will be married, next will be your marriage certificate, then the picture. So the order will be preserved. So when you send the data, first data, it will assume it to be your name. Second data, it will assume it to be your age. So next your marriage status and then certificate and picture. So the order will always be preserved whenever you use the data type as sequence. So next one more example. So payment method. So you have a choice here. So when you have a choice, among the different choices, you can choose the best one. So first it can be either you can pay it by check or you can pay it by your credit card. So these are the two choices, two options that I have. So payment method, the order is choice. So either one can be taken, not both. Okay, choice means either one will be taken. Either you can pay the amount by check or you can pay by credit card. So we'll specify what is the check number. So next for credit card, again I'm using the sequence. Sorry, I'm using the sequence. So when you do online payment, so it will ask you for your card number, expiry, CVV number, your name, all those things. So whatever order in which it is asking for the data, you're supposed to give. You cannot change your CVV and your PIN number. So this sequence will be followed. So your number, card number will be your first data. Second data will be your expiry date. So this choice says that either one will be taken into consideration. So you can either pay by check or you can pay by credit card. So when you do your online payment, you can either do by GPay or you can you using your net banking or your credit card or your debit card. So these are the different options you have. So either one of the payment method only you will use. You will not pay by debit card and you will not pay by your credit card. Either one of the things only is done. That is what your choice says. So choice says either one of the things should be done. So in your credit card, I am using a sequence. So sequence says that the order should be preserved. First data that you give will be your card number. Second data that you give will be your expiry date. So this is your choice and sequence. So these the things as I was telling you, you have choice, set, sequence. So repetition, so you can use set off and sequence off. So when you have more number of options, you use choice. So when you want to preserve the order, you will use sequence. And when the order is not in mandatory, then we will use set. So if you want the repetition, the value to be repeated again and again, then we will use set off and sequence off. So next is an example, real-time example. So this is your personal record. So your personal record is a set, so where it contains a division. Okay, it's a division. I'm giving it as choice. So you can either belong to one of the departments, either to the marketing or to the research department or to the production. So as a student, you belong to one department. So we have many departments in our college where you belong to computer science and engineering. You belong to CSE. So likewise, choice, you can be either marketing or it can be a research or it can be production. So in choice, I follow the sequence. So first is your sector and second one is your country. So in research, again I have a choice. So either your research can be product based or it can be a basic research. So next one is production. So production, I follow the sequence. First one is production line and second one is country. So whenever you use a choice, you have more options among which only one can be taken. Okay, either you can belong to triple E or you can belong to ECE or CSE or mechanical. So you belong to CSE. Whenever you use a choice, we have more options among which only one is to be taken into consideration. So when you use a sequence, the order is preserved and your data is transferred in the order in which you give. Suppose if I give in first country, then sector, then that order will only be taken into consideration. So you will have a conflict in your data. So next you have the 0, 1 and 2. So these are different tags. Okay, some ID number. So each and every data will have its own, every data type will have its own ID. If you want to differentiate them on your application side, then you can have this tags. So like how you have specific roll number, so which differentiates yourself from the other person in your class, even if your name are same. Okay, then you can be differentiated using your roll number. So that is what is tag. So tag is used as an ID to differentiate among the different data that you have in your network. So next one is set and sequence. So here, as I told you, if you are following the sequence, then the order is not preserved. So if you are using set, the order is always, sequence order is preserved. Set, the order is not preserved. So Smith, his designation is manager. He belongs to Northshire. Okay, so here I am not preserving the order. So which means that this is a set. Smith manager and where he belongs. So this is the order is not preserved here. So you have different options, different possibilities to send your data. So first you send your name, then your designation, then where he belongs to. Or you can have designation, your name, where it belongs to, or where it belongs to designation and name. So if you are using set, the order is not preserved. But here you can see that the where he belongs is always given as a sequence. So first north, then child, north child, north child. So the sequence is always preserved. The order should always be preserved. So set, you need not preserve the order. In any combination, the data can be transferred over the network. So again, I'll give you an example of sequence of. So this is a trade message. So where all these data, invoice number, name, details, charge, authentication should always be sent in a sequence. So your invoice number, it is an integer. So name, it is a string. Details, I'm using sequence of. So sequence of means this can be repeated. So part number quantity can be repetitive, but they should preserve the order. So first should be your part number, then should be your quantity. So for example, I'm ordering something on Amazon. So I can order more number of items. So it is not that I should order only one single product in a online companies. So you can have sequence of where you can do repetition, but the first thing will be your product that you order and how much quantities that you're ordering. So if you're ordering for an Excel, so you can order two numbers also. You can order one, you can order any numbers. So first will be what you're ordering and second one will be the quantity. So next one is charge and then your authenticator. So this is what is sequence and sequence of. So sequence will always preserve the order. Sequence of will allow you to have repetition, but it preserves the order in which you send the data. The next data type will be null. So null means that you need not specify the value that it is going to hold because it is empty. It doesn't have any value. So yeah, in a previous example, we saw that the person research can be either product based or it can be a basic. So it need not hold any value. So it is either product based or basic. So it is holding a value null. So null means it doesn't have any value. It is just the data type alone. So your research can be product based or it can be a basic research. So that is what is null. So null means it is just a data type, but it doesn't have any value. Okay. The next one is module. So as I told you, you can group different assignments and you can make them as module. So here, this is an example for module. So your trade message is your module where you have different assignments: invoice number, name, details, part number, quantity, charge, authenticator. So these are the different assignments which I've grouped them and I name it as trade message. That is your module name. So this is what is a module. Module is nothing but grouping of different values into a single name, like how we have a function in programming language. So all those complex problems that you solve, you can have it as different functions. You can combine these functions. So likewise, you can have different assignments. These can be combined as a single module. So how you define this module name, the definition of the module, then you'll have the keyword begin, then you will have name identifier or age equal to 25 or age should be an integer. So name ID and definition, and then our module ends with end keyword. So whenever I give anything in capital letter, it means that it is a keyword. So definition, begin, end are different keywords that we have in ASN. So next, these are different symbols that we use. So this is your equal assignment of symbol, and this is your or. So you saw that Boolean value will be either true or false. So to differentiate the different values, we'll use or. So next one is signed numbers. So next comments, if you are going to give some comments, then start of a list, start and end of a list. So in a previous example, we saw this. So not child. So this is your, it means that it is a set. Okay. So next one is tag and then subtype. So I can have one more type. So for example, I can give name or I can have address. Okay. Address can be further divided into street number, door number, location, pin code, and so on. So when you want to have a subtype of a data type, then we will use the parenthesis. Then these two dots indicate the range. So your pin, your numbers can be from 0 to 9 alone. So if you want to specify the range, we will use the dot symbol. So next, these are the different keywords that we have in ASN. So as I told you, begin is used to indicate the start of a module. Choice, so you have options. Among those options, you can choose one which is best available for you. Next, definition is used to start your module definition. End is a keyword that ends the module definition. Export is used to export the different data types from one module to the other. Identifier, you have non-negative numbers. Imports, data types defined in external module. So you can either import or you can export your data types. Integer, so it is non-negative or negative number. Null, it is just a data type, it doesn't hold any value. So objects, it is used to uniquely identify your data types. Octet, it is 8 bits, it is used in your string representation. Off, it is used with sequence and set. So sequence where the order is maintained. Sequence off, it is ordered where you can have a repetition. Set, it is unordered, you can have it in any order, the order is not preserved. Set off, it is unordered but with repetition. So string, it is used with octet. So octet string where you the data is stored in 8 bits. So these are different keywords that you need to remember. So second one is, so next one is naming convention. So we have this naming convention in Java also. So where you are, we have not a rule, but generally to differentiate between a class and a function, we will have a naming convention. That is always your class name of a Java will start with capital letter. Okay, first character of your class will always be capital. Suppose if I give class student, so student S will be given capital. So if I have a function, okay, a function, second words first character will be capital. So two upper, two lower, so two uppercase, two lowercase. If you have some functions or your user defined functions, to differentiate them, we will use that in two uppercase. You can see that T O, T will be small letters and uppercase U will be capital. So that is your naming convention that we use in programming languages. So likewise, in your ASN, you should follow the naming convention. So if it is an object name, so then every that is the first character will be lowercase character. So system description. So this is your object name. So description D is capital. So next one is application data type. So it is initial letter will be uppercase. So counter, IP address. It is associated with your system. So next one is module. So module, your first characters will be uppercase. So personal record. So P is capital, R is capital. So next your macro and your management information module. So everything is uppercase letter. So R, R, M, O, N, M, I, B. So this macro we will see in next class. The next one is keywords. So as I told you, all the keywords will have uppercase. So these are the different naming conventions that you need to follow whenever you are defining your ASN data type. So this mainly why we follow is to differentiate one data type from the other. So to differentiate your objects, your application, and all those things, we follow this naming convention. So next, what are the different objects that we have? Okay, so we saw the data types that we have, like integer, null, octet string. So next one is object. So object is used to uniquely identify something. So your data type can be structure and you can have class. So in your structure, it can be either simple, structured, tagged, or other data types. In class, you can have universal, application, context specific, or it is private. So first I'll explain this class. So class is like where it can be used. Okay, so if it is universal, then it can be used throughout your ASN definition. So it can be used throughout your ASN format that you use if it is universal. If it is application, then it is only application specific. So for example, we use a format for sending your data in WhatsApp. So you can forward a message only five number of times, five person only you can follow. So this is application specific. So where it is not common for all the applications that you use. A message can be forwarded to only 5 people. So likewise, when we had this COVID situation, we had so many fake messages being circulated on your social network. Where WhatsApp, then it shortened the number of times a forward message can be. So you could see that double forward symbol that we have when a message is forwarded more number of times. A single message, when it is forwarded more number of times, then it shows the double arrow mark symbol. I hope you would have noted it. So it is application specific. So next one is context specific. It is like for example, you have your roll number, you have your register number, which identifies you with respect to the different students of your Anna University. So, a different Anna University affiliated colleges, to differentiate one from the other, we have this registration number. But within a college, to differentiate the students, we have roll number. So, this is context specific. Where it can be used, depending on it, it differs. So, private, it can be used only within the particular application. Like we have different vendors who sell different products. Like, so when they sell a product, they will have particular data which is private to them, which no one else can view it or edit it. So that is private. So whenever it is specific to yourself, then the data will be private. So coming back your structure, we'll see examples for simple, structured, tagged, and other data types. So first one is simple. So simple is just it is easily understandable. Okay, that is what is a simple data type. So simple like page number. Okay, a page number will be some numbers. So it can be 256, or it can be 1000, it can be 1, or it can be in Roman letter something. So it is just a simple value. So this simple type holds small. I mean not small. It holds a, a peculiar value. It is not complex. Okay, it is just very simple. So you can have chapter numbers in a book. So chapter number can be chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So just they are simple data values. So second one is structured. So structured means you can have one data within another. So you can if you combine two simple data type, then it becomes a structured data type. So if I want to specify a particular topic in a page, so I can specify the chapter number, then the page number where this particular topic is available. So that is your book page number, for example. So the order is always preserved. Sequence. First should be your chapter. You can see that figure 3.15. So in chapter 3, 15th figure, that is what the figure 3.15 specifies. In chapter 3, the 15th picture that we have. So that is like I can combine two simple values, then it becomes a structure type. So book, a page number, where you will have chapter number separator. So as I told, 3.15. Point is your separator. So you can have a separator, then you can have the page number. So order is preserved here. So next one is tag type. See, if you specify sequence, only then your order is specified. If you specify as set, so then your order will not be preserved, where you end into looking into a wrong page. So that is why you have a sequence here. It is not compulsory that in a structure type always your order should be preserved. It is best to preserve the order. That is why we give the sequence. Suppose it is interpreted wrong if the order is not preserved. So I tell you to open the page 3.15. If the order is not preserved, so you will understand it to be 15.3. So that becomes a confusion. So that is why we use sequence. So next one is tagged type. So tag, as I told you, it is used to identify uniquely different data types. Even though your data types have unique ID, you can differentiate them within your application. So that is why we use this tagged type. So next one is the other type. So other type, it is not actually defined, but you can take them as your requirement goes. So the other types that we have are choice and any type. So choice, among the different options we have, you will choose the best one that suits you. So next one is any type. So any means it can be part of this basic type. Okay, it can be either structured or it can be a simple type. So I'll give you an example. So the example for choice and any. So here research, so there's a module, so where you have the choice. So it can be either product based research or it can be a basic research. So this is the choice. Any means it can be either product based where you are not specified the value that is holding. Either it is an integer value, either it is an octal string, and that or it stores in terms of bits. You have not specified that. So the data value can be anything. So it can be either a string or it can be a number. So that is what this any means. So choice, depending on the different options you have, you choose the best one. And for any, you are not specifying the value that your data should hold on. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any doubt, I'll clarify. So main use of ASN is we have a set of rules that is to be followed when you transfer the data. So what are the set of rules? So how it should be done? So these specify how a module should be, what are the data types should be, how the range should be. So we have so many symbols, we have so many keywords. We saw what are the naming conventions that we have. So these are the different rules that you need to follow when you're transferring your data. So tomorrow we'll be seeing about macros and encodings. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me.
பர்தீப் சாட்ல போஸ்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க பாரு, சஞ்சய் சரண்.
Okay, ma'am.
It's a 8-bit Unicode transformation form. Actually, that form is used. I mean, UTF-8 entry போட்டிருக்கியா உந்துல நீ?
Yes, ma'am. UTF-8 தான். UTF-8 ஓட 8 bits 8 bits format. Yes, ma'am.
Characteristics.
Yes. Now I was shown in my PPT also. I'll just show you one more time.
That's why he's asking.
Just a minute.
If you have that, you can go through. இங்க நெட்வொர்க் இஷ்யூஸ் வந்துட்டு நல்லதுல போல பார்க்கலாம்.
மேம் இந்த ஆப்சன்ட் நம்பர் மட்டும் சொல்லிடுங்க மேடம்.
So ஒரு நிமிஷம் sir. So Sanjay, you can see here it is UTF-8 only. Okay, the standard UTF-8 8 bits format only we use. That is what I've given it here. It is UTF-8 only. Fine sir, absentee சொல்லுங்க sir.
Roll number 2 4 38 94 95